guys, we're going to talk about our Redcat Everest 10 today. I'm going to tell you the things that I like, don't like, issues that I've had with it. I'm going to be quite honest with you. The bodies on them aren't made of very much, and they're absolutely not trimmed very good. Look at this. Crank the tire up into it. It hits. Okay. Wonderful. You got to remember, this truck is extremely cheap. It's a wonderful value for what you get, but it has some problems. The body, of course, not being trimmed. It breaks really easy. It's actually my second body. They're two-wheel steering. I've converted this to four-wheel steering. I actually have a video out if you'd like to see how to do that pretty affordably. New servos front and back. All the linkages are Redcat. All the brackets are Redcat. Really wasn't hard to do at all. They're easy to work on. You can't complain anything at all about working on these. They're very, very basic, very simple. But I've built 3 of these now. You can tell mine's got aftermarket wheels. Blue's my favorite color, I'm not going to lie. But I didn't replace the wheels because I wanted blue. I replaced the wheels because I worked on one for somebody and they had their wheels stuck on with a set of cheap wheel spacers, and it broke the center out of the wheel. Literally, the center in the wheel on a factory Redcat wheel broke completely out. So I done a deal. I ended up buying new wheels for mine. The tires, I love them to death. They're not tall enough to suit me necessarily, but hey, for what you get, take a pair of scissors, Lexan body scissors, cut them. I've got a video up on how to do that. They do very, very great. Take the foams out, they hook wonderfully. They're full posi front and rear. They're too narrow out of the box. I put a set of wheel spacers on here. I've got a set of video, not a set, I have an actual video out of how to do that. The drive shafts in them. I've never had trouble out of mine. I literally have not. I don't know how, but they're plastic. Got steel ends on them. Seems like a pretty sketchy design to me, being quite honest. But there's a set screw that turns on these axles and transmissions. If that gets loose, they'll spin and slip. You'll think you really have a problem when you don't. I don't like how slow they are. These things are extremely slow. You can't hardly see. But it's a little 540 can motor. It's almost all you can get in there. There have been people putting the 12-turn 550 Titans on them out of the Traxxas units. I really feel like the 20-turn is a really good all-around motor. A 35, something like that's probably what this is. I don't actually know what the stock motor is, but a 20-turn really speeds this thing up. But it does cut down on your battery life quite a bit. These things only come with a 2,000 milliamp battery, so you have to remember that. The battery tray, very simple to use. The gear rides right behind the battery, like literally. The battery, the back edge sits right here, like so. So I can get slid in there. Look how close your gear is. I can catch it without my big head in the light. There's your gear. There's your battery. Really doesn't look like that big a deal, but if your strap gets a little bit loose, that's what'll happen. I'm lucky this thing didn't go boom, battery catch on fire, burn it down or something. I'm going to be a lot more careful with that. I've had this thing for a year and a half and never had an issue. And it didn't actually hurt the battery, it hurt the case. I'll take some electrical tape and fix it, but that right there, that could have cost me my entire truck. And I've probably got $250 in the whole truck. You know, but it is what it is. I took an old junk Stampede body, chopped it up. That's how much you realistically have to cut to make it clear for sure. It'll clear with that much cut until you get it in a really good bind. The front, it's almost non-existent, just according to how much you want to trim. The steering servo that comes on them from factory, it's pretty good, but it doesn't last very long if you're hard on it and abuse it. And I mean abuse it as in pull a kid around with a wagon like I have, or actually rock crawl this thing, which is what it was intended for. These wheel spacers probably put a little more stress on it. This is like $15 I think on eBay. I done the video for the four-wheel steering. I put the front and rear together, 2 new servos, they're Metal Gear, waterproof, everything, all the linkages, the whole 9 yards was only like 40 something, $50, something like that. That's about all I can complain about. I mean, for $160 ready to run, comes with a charger, battery, remote, everything. These remotes function. I mean, have good enough reception. They don't accept any interference realistically. I mean, they're going to accept it because they have to if it's the right kind, but just to drive it around your house, you don't have any issues. There's a little door supposed to cover this right here. It's like a little tinted piece of plastic. It looks really good when it's all together. The remote really does look high quality, but it is flimsy and breaks. If you let a kid play with it, which is what happened to this one, it's going to get broke. If you drop it, it's going to get broke. Actually, my kid dropped mine and busted the bottom off of it. And I've got rubber bands holding the bottom of mine on, but, you know, it fell 3 or 4 feet. You can't really complain about that. So, I guess you can, but they're not indestructible. I mean, they're $160 new, guys. It's a pretty good value. All in all, guys, for $160 straight out of the box, you can't complain too much. But those things could have been fixed. It could have made this a lot better vehicle, in my opinion. They might could charge like $225 for one setup like this. But look at the flex. If you get the body out of the way that this thing would have. I mean, it could literally, get my shadow out of the way, it could do this straight out of the box, guys. I have done nothing at all to the suspension. Like all the links are where they come out of the box, everything. A little extra initiative and Redcat could have really knocked it out of the park. I know it's not a scaler. It's not going to get in there and hang with the TRX4, the Axial, SCX10, stuff like that. But for a cheap toy to get out in your backyard, play with your kids, you can't go wrong. These things are pretty tough. I personally have never been a Redcat fan. Their crawlers are awesome, I gotta admit. So guys, tell me what you think. Like, subscribe, hit that bell button, get notified. Give me ideas for other videos you might like to see. I'm thinking I might put a winch on one of these. Just see if I can do it, hook it up to the ESC. I know most people probably run an extra battery, which I might get into that deal. I don't know. I'm going to experiment, see what happens. But just let me know, guys. Till next time.